Ladies and gents, Feral Druid, so many of you asking for me to show this one. It's difficult, very difficult for me to do the Feral Druid. I don't understand why people like it. I'm just going to put that out there right now. I don't get it. This class has so many weird things going on with it and that go counter to everything that I know about DPS. Everything I've learned and trained myself about DPS, the Feral Druid really throws that in the fucking face and says, you know what, not going to do that. Not going to do that. We're going to do this and this and this. And it's like, my brain, it doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. I don't like it. Ooh, but having said that, how is the class performing in Warlords of Draenor? Not too different to the way it's working in Mists of Pandaria. The Feral Druid is one of those classes that won't let go of its hybrid birthright, right? It's got a birth certificate. It's got this legacy of being one of the true hybrids. It's like, yeah, you can do some deeps, but you're also very, very helpful everywhere else. In Warlords of Draenor, loads of classes have given that up. They've said, Blizzard's forced it on you. Said, you know what, Shadow Priest, your healing is now fucking shit. Every other hybrid, your healing and your utility to the raid is absolutely shite. Get out of there. The only raid utility we're really bringing now on a Feral Druid is Stampeding Roar. We've lost Tranquility. What? How? This is an age where Warlords of Draenor's mindset is, you know what, we're taking things like that away from tanks, but we're going to leave the DPS with some sort of extra raid utility. They seem to think Stampeding Roar is enough. Stampeding Roar is amazing, don't get me wrong, but so is fucking Tranquility. And to lose that is a real freaking bummer, man. A real fucking bummer. It was one of the first things I noticed. I was like, where's my Tranquility spell? I'm flicking through my spellbook. I know it's here somewhere, right? It has to be. Hey. Also baked in is the new travel farm. Your travel farm will now decide for you, annoyingly enough, it will now decide for you whether you're going to be using flight farm or travel farm on the floor. Did we ask for that? I don't recall when I was playing my druid that I wanted that, and it also creates the burdens. You can't do things like change to other farms while you're in travel farm. What you have to do is come out of travel farm and then back into another farm instead of being able to flow and switch nicely. Why would my druid not know that I want to change farms into a cat? If I select I want to be a cat or a bear right now, why would it not know that? Why do I have to say, no, stop being a kitty, a little travel farm, and go back to that? Stop being a bat and go back to doing this. Again, another change that I just don't understand. It feels very, very baffling. How are they playing? Downtime. Oh, the downtime. Oh my god. Warlords of Draenor is the king of downtime, and Ferals reign supreme as far as I'm concerned. There are so many occasions when playing this class that I'm literally just waiting to do something. Outside of cooldowns, I'm like, oh my god. I'll show you the fight right here of one of the Alkendown bosses where I was killing tricksters, and the majority of the time I just stood there and was like, I wish I could do something here. I wish I could do something. Ferocious Bite is still woefully bad in damage and punishes you so hard because we still have Savage Roar. How did Savage Roar not get cut in this day and age? How did Savage Roar not get cut? It's so boring. There are lots of people who, well, not lots. Lots is a strong word. I've been reading and reading and reading, so I'm trying to find some hope for the Feral Druid from my perspective as to maybe something I'm missing, some interactions. And there's a few people like, Savage Roar is amazing because it forces us to get our healing touch proc, which then allows us to activate Blood Talons without having to waste it on Rip, and it's, you know, that kind of stuff is really cool. That's really not cool because you're wasting resources on something you already have to try and proc something that you shouldn't need to make something work like it should do. We just want it to work elsewhere. That would be much nicer. Why can't it be a proc off bleeds that's a little bit rarer so then we can plan it a little bit easier and then we get some flow, some majesty, some sort of nature to the class. That would be nice. That would be nice. But no, it doesn't work. Ferocious Bite is still woefully bad, so the majority of the time you're sat there with 5 combo points, you Savage Roar, and you Rip Up, and you just kind of like, oh, clear cast, Shred. Remember, we've lost Mangle now. You're just using Shred from anywhere. And you're just waiting and waiting and waiting to the point when you can use your combo points. Just wasting resources along the way. That's the simple fact. Don't cap energy. Don't waste as little as possible is the way I would say it. Don't cap energy. Use clear casting and just wait until either Savage Roar or Rip needs refreshing. Because if you do try and you feel comfortable, you try and weave in a Ferocious Bite. The downtime means if you don't get lucky with crits, you're just not going to get those combo points back in order to get up to those standards, which, it's a drag. You just sat and you're like, I've got these resources. I have 5 combo points and I can't use them. And I'm just like, come on, man, just let me do it. And of course, Savage Roar and of our good old rip do overlap. They have introduced a glyph. People were really excited about the level 100 talent, which made Savage Raw passive. I can't imagine anything more boring than a boring buff that's now a passive boring buff. But there you go. People were really, really happy about it, but they have added it in as a glyph, but its effect is reduced by 5%. It'll be up to the mathematicians to work out whether that loss of 5% and the extra ferocious bites we can put in instead will work out to a DPS increase. I kind of think it won't by a long way. Just my gut instinct says no, that's not going to work at all. So you can still use the new glyph of Savage Raw, which gives you a 5 combo point Savage Raw whenever you attack from Prowl. That's awesome. It means we don't have to use it in our opener. Our opener can be stronger. We can be more fierce. We can be more ferocious. That's cool. Like that. Shouldn't be a glyph. Come on, just drop Savage Raw. I'm fully on board with the team that Savage Raw is fucking boring. 40% damage increase. Yay. The spell's called Inquisition. Gone. Why? Because it's boring. Slice and Dice is removed for classes that just do it anyway. Boring. Get rid of it. Let's just say no more. Serpent Sting is gone for so many classes. Why? Boring. It's just not there anymore. But there you go. That's one of those things. Let's talk about the talents then. Let's talk about the talents, which for me are just even more woefully bad and boring, really. I mean, Druids do suffer from this issue that they have 4 roles, and they're trying to make these the 3 talents fit 4 roles. As we've seen with the Shaman recently, that's just not realistic. And when you add a 4th role on top of it, it gets really awkward to the point where the talents just seem really iffy. In the video I'm showing you, I tried them all out to show you the different ones. But still, let's have a little read of our DPS increasing ones, like Soul of the Forest, grant 4 energy per combo point. You might think that's really good because we get more energy. But again, we don't really lack combo points if you're playing this how it's supposed to be played. And therefore, it doesn't seem to work out as being an actual benefit. Incarnation, okay, you get your Shred and Rake to function as if Stealth was active, so they hit a little bit harder. 3-minute cooldown that gives a Shred and our Rake slightly more damage. Woo! Woo! Okay. And Force of Nature. Force of Nature, which is raking the mobs and has this recharge rate, so you can kind of use them all the time. I enjoyed this one because it gave me something to do. But ultimately, even my add-on, at least currently, doesn't differentiate between the Force of Nature rake and my own rake. That's really annoying. It's super annoying. I have to check before I press Force of Nature. How long has my rake got left? Okay. Now I can use Force of Nature because they're going to rake the targets and do something. Which one's a DPS increase? I don't know. Numbers are still being balanced. You can decide on your own whichever one's better. Heart of the Wild, Dream Scenarios, and Nature's Vigil are just pure healing now. Holding onto that hybrid stick so tight. So tight. I want to be a hybrid. Heart of the Wild, when activated, dramatically improves the Druid's ability to tank, cast spells, and heal for 45 seconds. Woohoo. This is all from a PvE perspective. Please bear that in mind. Dream Scenarios, increase healing from Healing Touch and Rejuve by 20%. Your Healing Touch and Rejuve also heal you when used to heal someone else. Dream Scenarios is kind of the only one worth taking because we're going to be using Healing Touch a lot, and you can Rejuve in cat form, which is nice. Nature's Vigil does what it does. You'll DPS things and it'll splash heal other people around you for not a lot. Great. Boring, boring, boring. Let's go into our level 100 talents. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Lunar Inspiration. Who in the Blizzard office was like, you know what Druids love? Fucking Moonfire. Don't they? I was in a group the other day with a guy who was just spamming Moonfire. He was having such a whale of a time, and I was looking at the guy and I was thinking, dude's got his fucking shit together. So let's give cats Moonfire. Why? We already have a spell that does something similar. It's called Rake, right? Moonfire at ranged. Okay. Great. I can put my Moonfire and things at range. There will be situational uses for that. Awesome. Really excited. I don't get it. I'm sorry. I just do not get it at all. I've seen nobody who has looked at Lunar Inspiration and gone, great, another dot that costs 30 energy and deals a combo point. Awesome. So sweet, dude. Claws of how do we say it? Shirvala? This is the one people are really excited about. I don't know why. Again, I don't know why. Yes, you get a nice, pretty model form to jump around in. Some people like it, some people dislike it. Whatever, that's hardly the point. What is its utility? Not a lot. 5% versatility. That is it. You're a renegade druid. You're against the rules, man. You're thinking outside the box. And you become shapeshifted to a half-man, half-pussycat, Thundercats type shit. The alternate cat form allows the use of all non-damaged druid spells while shapeshifted. Awesome. I get to do all my heals while not in a farm. And I can do all my cyclones and all my shit. Amaze balls. And then he gets a little quote. Have we learned nothing from the scythe of a loon? So it gives you 5% versatility. This is essentially a pure PvP talent as far as I can tell. Unless versatility turns out to be amaze balls, which it doesn't look like. Blizzard is forcing critical strike on us, which is something I'll talk about later. So realistically, we feel pigeonholed into Blood Talons, which is cool. Blood Talons does have some nice interactions. But this is an old level 90 talent, right? That's just been moved to level 100. Casting Healing Touch causes your next 2 melee abilities to deal 30% additional damage. I've seen that before, Blizz. And yeah, thank you for just changing the name and calling it Blood Talons and making it level 100. So all of you know how that works anyway if you've played a Feral Druid before. Awesome sauce. It's also worth noting now that seemingly RIP only actually snapshots, because snapshotting is gone, but it's snapshots for Tiger's Fury. But it's on a different cooldown to Tiger's Fury, so you can't really use it all the time. Sorry, I find this whole spec really giggly, because it just doesn't make any sense. It's all fucking all over the place for me, anyway, as a personal player. Some people love this, right? And you're going to think, preach, you're a sarcastic bastard. I love my Feral Druid. All kudos to you, man. All kudos to you. I don't get it. This all makes no sense to me. Reading this is counterintuitive to everything I know about being a proper DPS. Is the damage good? Yes! The damage is fine. It's irrelevant. The gameplay is backwards ass as fuck, and it makes no goddamn sense as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, snapshotting is gone, but it still works with Tiger's Fury, which is on a different cooldown, which is all very baffling to me. I don't get it. What suggestions could we make? Let's stop taking the piss a little bit. What suggestions could we make? Make Ferocious Bite worth a damn. Let's take a leaf out of the Windwalker's book, which is now very much tied to like Fist of Fury and Rising Sun Kick. They're really important, just as our Rip and our Shred are important and our Rake, right? So we're kind of working with within these boundaries, but when we want to do a Ferocious Bite, it should be worth something, dude. God, it should be worth something instead of a crummy executability. It should be worth casting. It should be exciting. Should be really exciting, but we have to be really choosy about when we do it, allowing druids to be really careful. I'll do a 1-point Savage Roar here because that allows my Rip to stay up while I throw in a Ferocious Bite, and it hurts a lot. Some interactive gameplay there, some nice choosy moments to do something with. Can we possibly even take a leaf out of a Combat Rogues book and get some Restless Blades? If you're going to build this class with huge amounts of downtime, which it does have a lot of downtime, at least in 660 gear, can we not have something that reduces the cooldown of our Berserk every time we throw out a 5 combo point finisher, or at least our combo points affect Berserk in some manner, so we can come back to our fun moments, which is where we're like savagely tearing at something. I've been in a fight with a cat. It was not slow. It was not slow. That cat was vicious, man. That cat went for the fucking throat every single time, and that's how I feel cat should be. Not this bastard child of hybrid / wannabe rogue leveling spec, which it still feels like in my mind. Thrash still exists. What's our AoE like? Our AoE is mediocre at best right now, but I think that's a numbers tuning thing. We just have the same thing of throwing out Thrash. That'll cause the bleed, and our swipe does additional damage to things with bleed on. There are some people who are still claiming that Bear Thrash is better. Let's assume that's a bug for now for Ferals, that we shouldn't be switching to Bear form to do a Thrash. That would be really insane. Let's just hope that is a little bit of a bug. Other than that, that's how they're looking, guys. I'm not impressed. I'm not happy. That's one of those things. All right, guys. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.